and welcome to another episode of Amasec and Archaeotech with me, Mitch, and
myself, Ched. Hello and welcome, everybody.
This episode, we're going to be going through what we've been hobbying, what we've been reading in regards to the new rules, as it's Heresy is now out and abroad, and we'll talk about some events that are coming up in September. So, Ched, without further ado, what have you been hobbying?
Well, I have in my hands right now, I am building a jump pack Centurion for our upcoming lists, because the change I've noticed is that the dude with the standard is now not kind of like the leader. There's like a sergeant in the command squad now, which I didn't really notice before. So there's kind of like a champion in the command squad with chosen, and one of the chosen can have a standard. So I'm having to make someone who stands out more as a sort of the champion, and he can have a Vexilla. So I'm sticking a Vexilla to the back of a pack. I've done a Mark III body with a Mark VI pack and head, and then I'm using stuff from the command squad sprue for weapons and a shield, and I'm going to do some green stuff, scales, going to have a go at that for the shield.
Well, okay, that's a lot. That's so you haven't touched any of the new stuff yet. This is all just existing stuff that you've had.
No, I haven't got around to the new stuff. I've made a list with everything I have existing, with a few changes, which I'll go into later. But then I've also been looking at a potential list with using Saturnine Terminators. So I will build them once I've kind of got this first one finished, and then if I've got time to use them, I'll use them instead.
Okay. So you're being very practical. That's what I'm hearing now.
Yeah, exactly. What about you?
I have been working on another night. I've been working on my Angron, I believe it's pronounced.
Which one's that? What does he have? Flamer?
Flamer. Big Flamer, yeah. He's the one... This was
the second of the big plastic knights for Heresy, right?
Yes. Well, the second release, which was the Angron and the Castigator, but both of them are Cerastus chassis. Right. So the more lanky boys. Same as the Lancer. So yeah. I have a Lancer, I have a Castigator, which is the sword and bolt pistol, a very large bolt pistol, and
single shot Vulcan Megaboa.
That's it, yeah. And then, this one, the Angron, which is the Flamer Lad. So yeah.
That's... All right, Flamer Lads. Just a big salamander.
Exactly, yeah, all in green.
Anyone ask for a Flamer?
Working on him, slow going. Like all his items are all prepped now, so all off sprue. But I'm just going through the fiddly process of putting him together and posing him, and chopping up parts of a foot and all this kind of business. So it's been pretty slow going. But
so have you painted in sub-assembly and then you're assembling it?
No, I haven't painted him yet. This is just literally nothing's even been based. So he's just been prepped from the sprue, and then I have one left leg that I need to finish off because it's all plastic bands at the moment, because then I can. There's basically a nug in it, a lug. Sorry, I should say, not a nug, a lug.
Chicky nuggy.
A chicky nuggy that's in there, which I wouldn't recommend with your knights. They don't like it. Vegetarian, oddly, and that you basically put it in place, and you can cut both of them off, and then you can basically swing your knee joint around everywhere. But in my experience, if you do that to both of them, then it's very much like you've got a marionette, and it's just dangling around. So it's easier to do one without one that you can position, and have one that's kind of solid in the pre-built pose. Right. But then it's just putting the feet and every one of the toes is separate, so it's like getting that to position itself and then be within. It's a right it's a six-hander job. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've still got the human limitations. Still only got two hands currently.
Right.
So yeah,
that sounds That sounds. You've given me inspiration for a fun little project there. That could be actually build in the wires. Have like sort of some solid copper wire or something that goes up, and have it like a marionette, little knight.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
On strings, with a Joy Toy playing with it. Or actually, they're about the same size, aren't they?
Yes. Well, you could get like a Questoris one. You could get like a not Questoris, like a Liber Imperialis scale one, or even a Titan at that point.
Yeah,
and that would probably work. Which is quite cool.
Goddamn scale creep.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been it, mate. I've been working on him. So hopefully, in my time off, I should be able to get it done for September. I really hope so.
Yeah.
So I can say on that one.
Yeah. Oh, so you're getting him ready for our doubles thing?
Yes, and more presciently, the one after that, because that's 3,000 points, whereas our doubles, which is the Goon Hammer Open, is for 1,750. So yeah, that's a bit more flexible. Also, it's more flexible because I believe you can chop it up any way you want. So I could just bring a knight if I wanted, and you could field the rest of the points. Whereas some of the other ones we've been to have been quite limited to each person must bring 1,750 or however many.
Yeah.
And then the event I'm going to afterwards is just a standard 3,000 pointer. So that's my hobby.
Well then, what do we got next? What has been released? Oh, yes, Saturnine stuff. So we've had, if you were really desperate to get a Saturnine in the box because they were only coming in the box, all of a sudden, next week, you can buy them individually. So I wonder how many people were peeved about that. But also, with the announcement of that book and the Centurion Saturnine profile, I guess people are already, looking to do some conversions and stuff with that. So,
and by book, do you mean that
there was another what they called Liber Tactica? So the second one has been announced, and it's got the Saturnine Centurion in it. So
got you. Okay, that makes sense then. Because I was wondering, yes, that's what you're referring to. So yes, there is a second one of those coming, and it is all about Saturnine stuff.
Yep. So options galore. And I thought it was odd that you get 4 Saturnine Terminators in a box, but in the launch box you get 6, and you can add more. I don't know what the maximum is. It might be 6, but you get a box of 4. So it's almost kind of
you?
Yeah. I think it's kind of helpful because the minimum squad size is 3. So I think it's helpful if you bought the Praetor and the box, then you've got modelling options for that 4th one in the box of the normal guys to be a Centurion straight off the bat.
I completely missed it because I've not been focused on Marines at all. So I didn't even realise.
There you go.
So it's basically everything that was in that box is now on sale individually, right? Other than the platform? Or was that even on sale?
And the platform, yes. I haven't seen the platform on its own.
No. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. You can even get the little status markers.
Yes.
Which is
probably going to be the first thing I paint up, actually.
Oh, okay.
In the box, because I'll need them for the game, no doubt.
Yeah, well, I secured some from eBay for a market discount. They're selling it. So, yes, also because this one seems very heavy on needing those markers.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess people that have bought 2 are selling off. You got the book as well, didn't you, that was out of the box? Yeah, fair.
Again, just purely because there was I wasn't really focused on Marines, so
no.
But they're all good. And I guess what's probably the most important thing that's also come out very recently, hot off the press, as in yesterday from the time of recording, is the new Legacies PDF that a lot of people have been wheeling and gnashing their teeth about. So
yes, a lot of eager people waiting for that because of a lot of profiles now not available. Like I said to you, I had a chaplain with a jump pack that was no longer valid from the rule book, but they've brought him back in Legacies, and it's just the bog standard 8 points plus 20 for the jump pack. So why they couldn't have made that an option in the first place, I'm not too sure. But
yeah, I have to say, having a little read of some of the stuff, especially for the Legion stuff, it just even like in my context, headhunters. I said earlier, well, I'm gonna have to change all the combis from multi-melters on my headhunters because that was a rule. But now they're in there again, so it's just basically it's an increase in points, per thing as you'd expect for it to be. So, and it seems like there's a lot of that in that PDF, which does beg the question: if you're able to do it, why didn't you just do it in the first place? I mean, I guess there's a thing on how many pages do you want this thing to be, because the PDF's 200 odd pages. So, like, how many that would really puff up those levers.
Yeah, maybe they did have a page count they wanted to stick to, and that was a way of getting rid of it. But like even now, I'm using bits from the Mark III. The Mark 6 Assault Squad and then the Command Squad to make a champion,
Right, yeah.
Because the jump packs are in the normal Liber. So, you're making options that need to be converted anyway, right?
Yeah.
So why not? Why exclude all the consoles, really?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not like, I know there was I assume there probably is the push for the reason why you have the rules printed is because there's a model forum, but there's loads of models that we don't even have yet. If you want to put a jump pack on things, you'd have to kit bash anyway. So
why would someone not kit bash that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to hang around if I've got both those parts for the specific one champion model with the specific one, backpack. I just got a little brainwave. The traitor champion. Is that the model you're using?
Yes.
Is there a different one?
No, I can't use him because I've stuck his backpack on so well I can't remove it. So
I
put the jump back on him, but he will have to serve another purpose.
I was going to say when the new Mark IV jump packs come, he'd be pretty mean with one of those strapped to his back, I think. One of those. And quick release for Heresy, sort of a Heresy double bill, really, which is cool.
I don't want to complain too much or seem too negative. It's great to get this stuff out and in your hands, and if you weren't getting the box, then I think it works out quite well. You don't have to wait too long for it.
No, exactly. And usually I think it's probably the quickest turnaround I've seen for that stuff, if I'm honest. But I think it's in a good way rather than
definitely
keep the momentum going. If you wanted that stuff and didn't have the funds to splash out on the big box. Very cool. Very cool.
Definitely.
Shall we move on to dun dun dun? How the hell do you build an army, Ched? How the hell do you put everything together? Because it's apparently easier, so they tell me.
It was not for me. I don't know. I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the box, but I am the shiniest. Let me get the book now. Yeah, it's over a lot of pages. Firstly,
right. Okay.
So I say a lot, but there's a lot of flipping. There's now no elites. Well, there is, but there's not. There's not in the way that we were used to. So this is the problem. It's basically, this is, if you're an Android user and you've switched to an iPhone, this is what it is. This is the troubles. So it's kind of first world problems, but every thing has a little picture now.
Yes,
we used to the elites, right?
Yeah.
Now you don't have that. And it's all marine based anyway, so I feel for you with knights, because looking at a knight thinking, that's a bloody space with this sword.
I think that is the single, I'll be clear about it now, it is the single stupidest change in the whole of the rule book.
Didn't need to happen.
Why the whole of 3.0 to 2.0 is the least legible for quick reference and understanding what those emblems mean.
Yeah. Because,
as you said, they're not agnostic to a faction. They're also slightly too close to other ones that are in the same blimmin' book. So, like support squads and other squads, there's like a guy standing there with a sword. There's a guy not standing there with a sword. And they're silhouettes, ladies and gentlemen, of Marines, essentially, figurines that are there. But they're just not, it's just not legible. It's just not very good.
I mean, looking at the one that I think is meant to be the Spartan, it's just a big block. It's just a big block in a circle. Unless you're like, you have got an intimate knowledge of that tank and you're like, God, I love that tank. I love it from every angle.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to know what that is? Who, as a Mechanicum player, is going to be like, what's that bloody tank? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And for, right, in my Salamanders, so the Pyroclasts are what are they? They're a heavy something, right? Which the symbol is a Cataphractii Terminator. But the Fire Drakes, who are Cataphractii Terminers, are the elites, which is a Marine with a sword. So that make sense.
Yeah, no, exactly. I absolutely agree. All my knights are a big shadow sword looking tank. So that's kind of what we're having to deal with here. And
which, I appreciate this is 100%
new. We'll be talking about it at the end of the next 3 years and be like, oh, that was, that was exactly what we'd expected. And actually, it was the easiest thing in the world. But it just seems, like you just shot yourself in the foot a little bit there for no real reason when it could have been even clearer. But anyway, sorry, we digress.
Yeah, it is a bit old man yells at cloud, but there we go.
Yeah. Sorry, so you were saying, so there's no force organization chart now, is there? But there kind of is.
Yeah, it's a reinvention of the wheel for whatever reason, and you've got the primary detachment, which is kind of fits into like the old core stuff, but you don't have to take it all. So my understanding, right? I really want to try this because it'll be dumb and fun, but if you don't have to take things, but in the prime detachment, you've got 4 transports, right? I want to make a game. I want to make a mission that is just you've got 4 transports. I got 4 transports. The table.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Is a racetrack, and you play the game trying to go around the track on the thing, and you've got like shortcuts, but it's dangerous terrain. So if you go off and roll a 1,
that's okay. That's cool. I like that. I like the sound of that.
The old Speed Freaks game.
So you basically want to make Mario Kart, but for rhinos.
Yeah, I want to make a Mario Kart with, your rhinos going around.
Very cool. Okay, I like this. I like this idea. I think that can be put together. We can have a little go of that.
Amasek Architect presents Heresy Kart.
Heresy Cup, Rainbow Road, but it's Horus's Tears, or what's Lorgar's name? Is it the Aurelian?
Aurelian,
the Aurelian Cup.
Love it. There you go. This is a whole sub game, but as I read it, you don't have to take a high command. You don't have to take a centurion. You don't have to take these things, but there's slots available for them. So just race your transports.
I mean,
sprint, get from A to B, shortcuts through dangerous terrain. If you roll a 1, scuppered. Yeah.
I was going to ask, because I've only got the night one here, it might just be this one. But in your actual Custoras, do you have the bog standard vanilla organization chart in there as well? Because I don't have it in my night one. I've only got what I have. If that makes sense. I just want to check on your Marine one. Does it also have... No,
it's not the Marine one. It's only in... I've been dropping it. It's only in the rule book, all that.
Yeah, which again is they've done some... Okay, so they've done some really great stuff with putting all the special rules and majority of the special rules in the books.
Yes.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, they've duplicated in the Liber and in the main rule book, which I like.
Chef's kiss on
really
that one,
good.
Great.
And the layout of the book is where they are, being at the back with the weapon profiles. It's easy to flick to them. That's great. Love that.
Yeah. But not having that prime detachment in here is frustrating because it means I've either got to pull it up in a web page or I have to bring, take a photo of the rule book when I could there's enough space to just literally stick it here so I know as a reference. That'll be very useful because on the previous sleepers for 2.0, they were all there.
That's true.
So you could just always just use that book and just go to town. But, anyway, I'm going to quickly look that up because I've just realised that I can't actually reference it. But if you'd like to explain, sorry, I just went blah there. But if you'd like to explain the core, blah, the core, this is what's happened to me. My elixirs, the core, the core rule book or organisation slot. That'd be grand. What's that look for?
You want the whole.
I don't know be the whole thing, but so maybe actually that's just so we're going to an event. We're going to the Goonhammer Open, aren't we? In September. 1750 points. 1750 points each. Doubles.
Mm-hmm.
You have had a go at putting an army together using
Do you want me to go
4 and there's other bits and pieces. So yes, if we start from the beginning, maybe if you wouldn't mind going through. And then if you could just be clear what's the core part of it and what's not, because this is what's really confused me with it is how these kind of add-ons, and I get
100%. So I have the Prime detachment, the Prime Crusade detachment, right? I've got a high command, and in that I've got my Predator with a jump pack.
Okay.
Then I've got a Prime command slot, which is my Centurion with a jump pack, and then there's 4 troop choices in the Prime one, and when I say Prime, this is the one that with the ring around it that gives you this ability. So the ability I've gone for with the commander is Paragon of Battle, which gives him he gains a bonus of +1 to attacks, weapon skill, and ballistic skill, which is pretty good. Because my intention was
he just gets that because you chose
because he's in the Prime slot, so he's in the slot with the ring around it. If you get the ring around it, you get to choose a trait from that. So that's what I've chosen for him, because my intention is to stick him in the assault squad. I've got a 10-man assault squad. I've had to nick some guys from my old despoiler squad with a heavy chainsword, because you can't have now multiple heavy chainswords in a despoiler squad anymore. So I've basically taken the backpacks off them, built them new backpacks, added them to my assault squad. So I've got one with the heavy chainsword and then one with a power axe and hand flamer. Because the assault squad still don't get a lot of equipment. And speaking of I have to tangent here, right? So every squad profile says you can have a Vexilla for 10 points, and then 2 other Marines can have an item from the equipment war gear, right? You go there, it's the Augury and the Nuncio Vox. Why on earth is it not the 3 of them? Or why isn't it 3 Marines can have 1 item for the equipment list and they're all in there? It really bugs me. Surely that's a waste of space. I don't understand the design choice there. Anyway.
So you can choose one of them.
And so it always lists a Vexilla. Okay, it says you can have a Vexilla for 10 points. Then you can have another item from the war gear list, and you go there and it's just, all it is the Augury Scanner and the Nuncio Vox.
I can see. I know why they've done it. It's because there's other units you can take a Nuncio Vox, and I want to say no, I can't say that. That Vox, and then do you understand what? Anyway,
I've gotten on. Yes,
that Vox, and then the other one, other characters probably can take that. So they instead of they've streamlined it in their own writing sense. They have to keep repeating to say the same thing, I guess. But I totally get what you're saying. So yes, you're the only one that's special that no other unit should be able to take is that Vexilla, because it's on that unit. Does that make sense?
So only Marines can have Vexillas. Well,
yeah. Okay. If you find that Vexilla elsewhere, though, please do feel free to come back and we can write a very strongly worded letter at how inconsistent.
Well, it's too late now, mate. They're in print. It'll just be a forever thing that we're now stuck with. So that was my Centurion with jump pack in the Prime Command slot. Then I've got, as I mentioned, an assault squad and a tactical squad. Then in my Prime troop slot, I've got despoiler squad, and I gave them the Master Sergeant trait from being in the Prime slot, which means the Sergeant gets a load of extra stuff, which is Does he gain the champion? Yes, he gains the champion subtype, which means he can make challenges, and he gets once per detachment and +1 to attacks, weapon skill, and leadership.
Okay, so do you have then, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'll probably go backwards and forwards on this, but do you have like a Supreme Commander slot then?
No, you have so you have one high command slot, which is freighters and that sort of stuff. So I have filled that slot. Then you've got command. Yes, I have. Then you've got command, which I've filled with the Centurion. Now the Centurion has a rule called Officer of the Line 2, which again is weird wording, because if you fill a command slot that allows you to take another detachment. But the Officer of Line 2 it doesn't mean you can take 2 extra detachment. It means you can take 1 extra detachment. It's just including the one you can already take.
So it's called 2, but
the number is 2, itself. But I think it should be
1.
I think it should be 1, because in my head, if you fill a slot and you're allowed to take another one because of that 1 means you can take 1 extra. But for whatever reason, it's 2, and it includes the one you're already allowed to take. So,
okay. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, but there you go. So from him, you can have 2 other detachments, and a high command allows you to take an extra detachment or something called an apex detachment. So I have taken an apex detachment from him, which is the retinue detachment, which is where the command squad sits. And they also have a prime ability, which I'm giving them the combat veterans, which gains +1 to their core intelligence and willpower characteristics. Although I may change that, because if they're with the Praetor, they're going to use the Praetor's values for all that, which are 10-10-9-9, I think, or 10-999. So this is for all the advanced characteristics. So I don't think they'll need that. So I might give them something else. Then
that's fair.
Penultimately, the other additional attachment I've gone for is the Salamanders one, which is the 2 support squad slots. And I've taken my 5-man last cannon squad in there. Then I've used the 2 armor slots. You're only allowed to take Predators or Vindicators, so I'm going to have to get myself a Vindicator. But I've taken a Predator with my my Magna Melter cannon.
Is it limited just for that, or can you take any kind of Predator in that slot?
Is it any kind of Predator?
Okay, cool.
But I think that's a nod to the old thing where you could take all the flame Predators and your support squads with flamers and stuff like this. And as I mentioned to you, I think I was talking about it last night, I forgot my Leviathan that I'd got out. So I can get him in because of the Centurion. 2,
okay, I was going to say.
With his 2, so then I can stick that in as another detachment, which is just a heavy support detachment for the Dreadnought alone. And there's no Talons anymore, so it's just 1.
No. Or squadrons. But those heavy support roles are really tricky to come across.
Yes. So you've really got to fill out those command slots if you want extra things. So games are going to be quite Centurion console heavy, I think, especially for Marine armies. God knows how it works for your Knights, mate, but Mechanicum, I don't know what's a normal command.
I haven't looked into the Mechanicum just yet on that one. That seems like that's a sit down with a load of coffee and a good night's sleep before you tackle that one. So how many boxes have you used then? How many detachments have you got in total then? You've got your core detachment?
4 detachments, the primary, the Apex retinue, the additional one from the Salamanders, and then the one for the Leviathan.
And how have you got the additional one for the Salamanders? That for your Centurion?
That the entry just says, if you have a prime detachment with the Salamanders, you can have this extra one. You're entitled to use this extra one. And it doesn't, to me, it's not clear that it's accessed by the normal way, by having a command slot. It just says you can have it. So
when we get onto my Knights, there's something similar, which I think is a bit like, this is your little bit of flavour if you want some flavour with if you're painting them this colour or you're doing them this army, then you get to have this as an additional attachment that you can play around with.
Yep. So I filled out a high command slot, a prime command slot, 3 troops, 2 transports. I'm taking 2 rhinos.
Nice.
Then only 1 slot in the retinue Apex detachment, and then 2 slots in the Salamanders, 1 support squad, 1 Predator, and then just the 1 Dreadnought in the Dreadnought detachment.
Cool. Okay, I think that kind of makes sense. Which referencing the images that I'm seeing here. And how many points is that in total?
What did I tell you last night? It was...
You and you whispering those sweet nothings?
1815.
1815. Okie dokie then.
Yeah. So,
okay.
As you said, we have 3,500 points between us. So I don't know. Might give you a break for making something, or I may need to reduce that. But yeah, my command squad is actually one of the most expensive units. It's 267 points.
And what's in your command squads? Are they two?
Yes, so it's the champion, which I'm building now.
Yeah,
and it's 4 chosen with the standard. The standard was it 20 or 60 points? I think it was a chunk.
What does it do?
Standard. Yeah.
Does it give them a bubble?
Question.
Does it give them like a bubble of leadership and that kind of jazz?
A bubble of leadership. Oh, another thing. Grenades, right? Grenades are listed in war gear. Okay,
right.
Frag grenades, crack grenades. In the war gear section, you have frag grenades. Where are crack grenades? They're in the weapons profiles. No weapons profile for a frag grenade, but it is in the listing. So, bit confused about that one. Here we go, Legion Standard. So, Legion Standards grant bonuses to combat resolution when resolving a combat in the resolution subphase of the assault phase. Oh, score 2 combat resolution points. That's going to be fun, working that one out. For each unit in that combat that has any models that have a Legion Standard. Oh, it's a Vexilla +1.
Oh.
Legion Standards count as an additional 6 models for the purposes of outside support in a challenge. Oh, that's interesting. So you know that whole thing about outnumbering and thing.
Yeah,
so that's going to be very useful in a challenge.
So that's probably where your points costs are creeping in. Do they give you any buffs? It's just combat resolution. It doesn't give you any buffs to your leadership or anything like that.
Nope.
Probably where it's all coming together then. Is for those challenges. So yeah, probably a good thing you got a champion in there to
it's 20 points
hunting. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's not as horrendous as I was expecting then, but it's still it's like a Vexilla. Because what's a Vexilla? 10 points in a normal squad, right? So it's like then the rest of them are just equipped with power weapons, and they're just like veteran stats, are they? Like two wounds.
Yeah, veteran stats, and 2+ armor. Yeah,
that's cool.
Given that, I equip them with claws because that's what they got. But actually, salamanders get something called forge crafted for certain weapons. Lightning claws are not one of them. So all the lightning claws I've used are now just normal. They don't have that bonus. So yeah.
Would you? Do you have to pay for that bonus though, or is it just like,
It's 10. It scales up. So all the power weapons, it's 5 points extra.
Right.
For let me get this right. There's a fist,
right,
which is I think 10 points, and a thunder hammer for 10 points.
So depending on the weapon, depends on how much it costs. It's like a flat
it's kind of like
points.
the new Mastercrafted. It's just extra. No, it's not always extra damage. It's extra damage on some things. It's a better initiative modifier on maybe the fist, I think, and it's extra attacks on the hammer.
It's changing the attributes that maybe benefit that weapon, which is cool, as opposed to being a flat reroll, which Mastercraft was before, right? So,
yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to testing it out at the doubles.
Okay, so that thank you very much for explaining that out and how you got to that, because that it's kind of the more I use it, the more it kind of makes sense. But
exactly, yeah. It basically took me the whole of Saturday and most of Sunday, and
Okay. Quick question before I move on to mine. Do you already have a feel about how you reckon your force will be used?
Yes. So jump packs have the deep strike rule, but unlike before, you can only deep strike 1 unit per turn. So I will have 2 units. Yep. So in turn 2, you can't do it in turn 1, even though there's a reserves thing in turn 1. So in turn 2, I'll be able to bring 1 in. Then turn 3, I'll be able to bring the next one in. So it's kind of going to be a bit of a drip feed sort of deal.
But it's only a 4-turn game.
Yeah.
Wow.
That could be quite interesting though. With the it's 4 turns, but you re-roll for a 5th, right?
Yes, you do. But you can't charge, right, from deep strike anymore.
No.
No, you can't. Can you not charge? Period, or are they just disordered charges?
I know it's disordered charge from a rhino.
Yes.
You just place a model anywhere on the battlefield, then you place the rest within 6 inches of the first model, more than 1 inch away from an enemy or battlefield edge or impassable terrain, Anything you can't place is a casualty. A unit that deploys as a deep strike may not move in the move subphase of the same player turn or have a charge declared for it in the charge subphase of the same player turn, but may make shooting attacks as normal.
Okay.
Which is why I'm looking into another option. But that was what I used to run, and now I'm trying to make it work with this, and that's what I've got.
Got you. That makes sense.
So I've given one of the chosen a Volkite Charger as a weapon. I've got 2 hand flamers in there.
Okay, cool.
So they've kind of got some pistols.
Yep.
And same kind of with the assault marines as well. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one. It'll be hi, they're here. They might shoot at you. They might get intercepted a bit, but intercepted is only on snapshots now, so they're a tad more survivable.
Yeah, although snapshots,
and then it'll be
just changed, isn't it? Like you can get like 5s and 4s to hit, not necessarily.
So you're right. So
6s.
really, in a 4-turn game, if something's coming in turn 2, it's not going to be effective until turn 3, and if something comes in turn 3, it's not going to be effective till turn 4.
Yeah, has it got the Vanguard roll as well? Because they're jump peoples.
I think assault, do. I don't know about the command squad.
Okay, yeah. I found, I don't know about you, but reading through some of the solar stuff anyway, there's not a lot that has line anymore.
No, but the nature of line is changing. I think line is, from what I was reading, it seems to be a bonus 2 taking.
Yes, so. Yeah, no, it is. Everything can score now, which is obviously a fundamentally big change.
Assault squad, Assault squad is Vanguard 2.
Yeah.
Oh no, what was it? Was it?
It's a big change.
No, they don't have. Is it Vanguard that gives you a bonus if you take something off?
Yes,
it is. Yeah, so Vanguard, if you wipe out a unit on an objective or cause them to run away, you get whatever the number is in the bracket, but it stops you from scoring more than 1 victory point on an objective. But if you use them to take something off, then you're maximising that. Yeah,
so there seems to be quite a push and pull where you either have line, which is there to score points on you holding an objective, get additional points, I should say. And then there's Vanguard, which is for certain units that score additional points for running people off it, which brings me quite conveniently onto my knights, because the only way to get those bonuses is Vanguard.
You have nothing that has line.
There's no line. Period.
So you can only score 1 victory point for having it then as a knight.
Well, I don't know if vehicles can score.
Oh,
because if they can't, or if walkers can score, if every single unit can score, I know that, for example, automata and cavalry can't score normally. You have to have like special abilities or people to enable you to score. So I would imagine that everything else can score, because otherwise the only way you can score points is if someone sits on it, and if they decide not to, be obliging and sit on an objective that's near to you, then you could never score any points ever. If that makes any sense. Whereas they could in an objective-based situation. I'll quickly just run down my list, and we can discuss that afterwards. So my list currently is. So how it works for knights is that there's a primary detachment for them, which is different to the normal primary detachment because obviously they're knights. And that basically is 4 Lords of War. And those 4 Lords of War are for your knights. So your primary detachment can run 4 knights straight out the box, if you wish, which is pretty sweet.
No.
And then on top of that, you can then add additional talons, what they call detachments, depending on what knight you bring, because each one of those 4 knights has the little halo around it to make it is it a primary slot? Is that what that means?
Yes.
So each one of those, you can then choose a rank that then gives you a bonus, a bit like what you were talking about with your primary. Like you make them a master sergeant or to make them a special bonus. So each one of those can have those bonuses, which is cool. And we'll go through some of the ones I'm looking at choosing in a little bit. And then with the additional detachments, as I said, depending on what knight sort of character or knight thing you've added to them, depends on what you can get. Also, a bit like what you're talking about with the Salamander's ability, if you choose, there are 3 specific knight variants or households you can choose. And depending on which one you choose of that, basically depends on what additional attachment you can get for free. A bit like your salamander one. In some ways, it's much simpler because you only really ever choose your 4 knights. You don't have an armored attacks, which you did before.
Right.
In 2.0, for every knight I had to also bring 2 armigers. So I have 6 armigers because I had 3 knights at that point. And there was no way to bring that other knight unless you were going to build those armigers. This time round, you can bring an armiger talon, and that's 4 of them, but you have to do a special, either choose a special character trait, or you have to choose a specific army version to be able to unlock that. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So the 3 different knight households you can choose are either Questoris Imperialis Imperial House, which basically how these are broken down is you get that additional detachment, which is nice. You then get to choose usually an additional characteristic or knight title that you would only usually get to choose one of it normally. And then you get to choose a vow, and then you get to choose you get given an advanced reaction. So basically think of these really just like a Space Marine Legion. So this is basically, you're flavoring it depending on how you want to lean, how your gameplay kind of works out, or in my case, what models I can actually get to the table relatively quickly. So that's the standard one, but I won't go into the intricate details of them, but they're really quite interesting, and they have done a good job of making it seem like a fair one. But basically, the normal Imperial House ones, this is your bog standard Imperial Knights as you'd understand them, all the heraldry, the ones we'd run in Adeptus Satanicus. The one additional cohort you get with that is a baronial court, which basically means you can field some solo auxilia, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
So they have special detachment, which obviously gives you a bit like your Salamander's one, specific unit emblems that you can take, and obviously you can't take any more than that. So that's quite cool.
Yeah.
The other one is the Mechanicum ones. This is the knights that are slaved to a Mechanicum Forge World or to a Forge Fane or a Magos, and they can take some Cybernetica Automata for free.
Ah, cool.
And then the final guys are your free blades. These are the knights that are on their own, sort of a mercenary company or going about themselves. These are usually the ones that you'll see as a Lord of War choice for as an individual. And if you take one of those, then you can also take some armigers for free.
Ah, okay.
Not for free, sorry, as an attachment. Do you know what I mean? You've got to cost the points for it, but you don't have to unlock them with something else. So, they're the real basic bones of it. So I'm thinking for this one, I probably don't need to deal with any of those. I can just take 3 knights, because for the points cost for the first one we're doing, pulls in at 1,460 points.
Oh.
And that's 3 knights.
That's not bad. Okay, so hang on. So quick maths, mate. What did you say?
1,460.
Plus, what did I say mine was? 1,815 is 3,275. So we've still got a few points there to fill out.
Yeah, so it's not going to be enough on your current list for me to fill the 4th knight. So I can't do that.
Right.
I could potentially bring an armiger, because they're 150 points now. They've been reduced, but they're also got quite a bit worse in terms of
There's definitely a lot of different points I've found.
Okay. Yes. All the knights, for example, have all gone up in cost, but you get all your knight ranks for free, whereas before you'd have to pay for them. Right. So it kind of evens out in a weird way.
Yeah.
But you don't have that choice anymore, if that makes sense. So it's just a higher point cost. The cheapest other knight I could field is 400 points, and that's a Knight Questoris with 2 chain blades. So basically just running up the field. Just like, come at me.
If you're angry, he wants to fight you.
Yeah. So that's sort of the closest one. So there's some big changes in how knights are, as well as a model, and how not as a model, but how they fielded. For example, they have a front facing and a back facing. They don't have sides anymore.
Ooh, okay.
They're just like a vehicle, so a glance can throw a status on them, and any repeat status takes a wound off them.
Yep.
They have a 5-up invuln all the way around, which is standard, and they all have the explode and the Vanguard 2 special rule, and they also have auto repair on a
nice.
Yeah, on a 5-up. The Mechanicum Knights are better, but I don't have any of those. So on a 5-up, which is going to be really important because I think that they're tougher to take down, but at 450 points or 500 points a model, if I get a status effect on me that basically either makes me blind, or it means I can't charge, or it means I can't react, that's a lot of points that are just basically sitting there doing nothing. There is one particular class that helps you called a Preceptor, which gives you Battlesmith 2.
Okay.
And then anyone within, I think it's like 8 inches, you basically help. You can do additional rerolls on that damage chart. So it's very much become more like Adeptus Titanicus in that way, because at the end of the turn you can kind of repair a status, which is pretty sweet.
Okay, that's like what Nuncio Voxes are doing now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what they're for. They can take off a status.
I see. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, there is this whole this push for status is everywhere. It seems it is very much a core part of the game now. So yeah, there is that. The other problem also is that if I want to get an additional reaction, which we all do, I'd have to turn one of them into basically the prime guy or a leader, essentially, which gives me that additional reaction and makes him, I think, slightly more difficult to hurt, but it gives them Slay the Warlord if he's killed.
Yeah.
So obviously, having not played a game yet, it's a bit tricky to understand whether that additional reaction is worth it. I mean, usually it probably is. I mean, reactions are still going to be important, I'm sure, but do I just forget about it and just rely on what I've got? The one I will probably definitely be taking is Dolorous gives you the Fear 2 special rule.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty important.
So what's quite disgusting is the weaponry that these knights can pull out. So the Acheron, which is the Flamer lad, Torrent doesn't exist anymore.
No.
So he's much shorter range, but he is still got that giant Firestorm template. His flame, if he hasn't moved, is AP 3, Fear 2. So if you add that on with the Fear special rule, if he's within 12 inches of the unit, that's Fear 4. So they'll take a -4 to their panic check.
Which would
then make them potentially run. The other thing is the Castigator, heavy bolt weapon, is also AP3, which is tasty. But his flame weapon, number one, basically, if he's outnumbered, gets 6 additional attacks. And also, it's quite disgusting. Plus his 4 initial, so he gets 10 attacks. Plus whatever you get for the charge. I'm not sure how that works out. And also he has a flame, and a flame gives them a -2 or a -1, I think. I think it might be -1 to their leadership characteristic, as long as they've been hit. So then you're getting -3 to the leadership if he's fearless, if he's got the fear attribute as well. So you can only field one of them in your army, but it's which of those two should I field him on? I'm kind of thinking, because of the lore, like the Acheron is meant to be, he's the war crime knight, you know, like you've got a giant flamer and a chain fist. He's not screwing around. He's here to murder everything. So,
well, as a salamander, I can only endorse the use of flame.
Well, here's the thing, though, because you as a salamander player, I mean, if I was to use them against you, you don't get any minuses to that. You nullify those minuses with your anti-flame shenanigans. So you still get fear, but you wouldn't get the panic too.
You just lay down some fire. I'll walk through the flame, really cool, and then be like, punch another child in the face.
Exactly. Yeah. Who cares? Who cares? So those are probably the three I'm thinking of: is Dolorous with the Acheron to make him additional Fear 2 and a 12-inch bubble of himself, which would be pretty nice. The Lancer, I guess I will maybe make him the Repair Knight, but then he's kind of in a support role, so maybe I'll just have him as the HQ, but he's going to be right in the thick of it. And then probably have the Castigator be the Repair Knight. The alternative is I could give the Lancer a 5-up Precision Strike. That's another title I can give them.
That's probably helpful if you want to take out leaders against you.
Yeah. That's kind of his special.
Or like Vexillas, and then if you're taking out their Nunciavoxes, they can't remove statuses, so they're pretty stuffed then.
Yeah, he's all melee though, so he's got to be in there and then, be doing what he's going to do.
Where the fun happens.
Yes, exactly.
I did ask you, but you said you had some things that could do challenges?
No, I don't. I don't have anything that can do challenges anymore. So no, there's none of them are characters. So yes, you'd have to pick them out of the squad, as you said before that, or go in and the other rule I can give him basically increases the number of attacks he has and the speed at which he moves, and that's the Ulan. Right. So it's kind of,
movement him? Might be good just to get somewhere to deny.
Or just get him in someone's grill before we can figure out what's going on type situation. Yeah. So,
oh my god, mate, it's a knight.
Yeah, what the hell is that doing here? Yeah, so that's it, mate. Those are kind of the three for us of 1750. I have more issues when it comes to getting the 3,000 point one, because how limiting. They said it was the freest and easiest of all of the ways to play Heresy because there's no required slots. But there are required slots if you're trying to field an army you already have. It's interesting. It's interesting. I think they've done a good job.
It's a whole new way of building armies. I don't know what anyone else has found, but just being able to port across what I had I've had to make a lot of adjustments, and I'm having to remodel stuff and even build a new guy to kind of fit in.
Yeah, well, I've been extremely lucky in that regard because I didn't have a lot of models. The Marines or even my solar stuff. The biggest thing for solar, not just as a slight tangent, is how I filled all my tanks because you get additional attachments, but you'd have to.
Oh god, yeah, no squadrons.
No squadrons, and you can get them semi-easy-ish, but you'd have to lean in maybe to the more sort of armored heavy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, of course.
Ones. So yeah, and then also my squads of men it's no longer big blocks of infantry marching like Napoleonic style. They're actually all a bit useless now. So
oh dear.
Yeah, they're okay, but they're not. Yeah, we can talk about that on another time. But
when you get to your solar, okay.
Yeah, yes, that's the night stuff. So my stuff is also very Vanguard heavy, which means kind of waiting for people to get on an objective before I score the objective. But then equally, they're knights and they're going to get shot at because you can't not hide. So it's a bit like you just got to get in there and screw stuff up as quickly as you can. In another respect, so
it'll be very interesting to see them in action for the first time.
Yeah, definitely. Especially seeing how they work against your Marines and what you're fielding.
Yeah, for sure, mate. For sure. Interesting times.
Yeah, so there's a few points left. What do you reckon? You're going to throw maybe something else in? I'm happy for you to do so.
Lovely. Well, yeah. What have we got? We've got. That's 225 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what I can make. So my basic 10-man troop squads were 175, and I have another troop slot, another transport slot. Don't have another transport though. A Leviathan was 220 without any upgrades, and you have to pay for all the weapons on a Leviathan, so that's just the body. So I can walk in a Leviathan body. 225, maybe some Saturnine. Saturnine of 203, so maybe.
Yeah.
Although, detachment-wise, I don't know how I'd squeeze them in. So, yeah, maybe another command squad in a retinue, or it would have to be, a Vindicator or Predator, or maybe a support squad. Maybe I can do a support squad in that slot. I think that's the most logical.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of anti-armor.
No.
I mean, we do in so much as I get close and personal with things, because I can really screw them up.
Yeah, that's your anti-armor.
Yeah, I'd have to be up
I've got
close.
Predator and a 5-man last cannon squad, so unless I increase the last cannon squad...
Oh, you do have a 5-man last cannon squad. Okay, apologies.
Yes,
you had...
and the Predator with the Magnum Melter, which is, I think it's only 24-inch range, so he'll need to get into the midfield. But your knights will probably distract from him.
What's his melter? Yeah. What's his melter range? What's his actual melter rule say? Because I thought it was like, oh yeah, you can be within, it's half range, but it isn't anymore. It has a specific number next to it, and that's how close you have to be.
It's so confusing, the rule book having Marines on it, because when I'm looking for the rules, I end up picking up the wrong book. Oh, it's 36. So
the ranges, but what's your melter of it?
Oh, 12.
12. So you have to be within 12 to get melter.
Oh, okay.
Which is double your damage.
Well, it's still strength 9, damage 4, AP 2 at 36. So that's not too bad.
No, not at all. Nothing too shabby at all there.
I think we've waffled on for long enough.
Yes, I think so too. We will let you know how it goes. We'll be recording a few more episodes between now and the beginning of September, but looking forward to the Goonhammer event. Have never been to see those guys, so looking forward to that. Never been to Leicester either, so looking forward to the sunny climes of Leicester.
I'm looking through the book for quotes, but they don't have them anymore.
Do they not?
No, they've got the description, the sort of the narrative description, but there's no little sidebars with quotes in it. Oh, sad times. Oh no, where was one? Oh, I know where there are some. There are some on the page where it tells you what it is. I'm not reading that because he's an Iron Hand and they're grumpy bastards. Who the 5th Legion? It's White Scars, right?
I think so.
Better not be Space Wolves. Yeah, that's White Scars. Okay. I said 5th Legion because that is Archived Works of Remembrance, AM, attached to the 5th Legion Reprisal Fleet. Glory comes not quickly to those that make haste to war, but greater is the glory of those who toil for their victory.